Hi guys, my name's Stephanie. I'm a canine psychologist from People and Dogs Sorted, and in this video you are joining me on a 3-day rehabilitation of 2 dogs currently in my local refuge. So let's get to it. Roll the titles. So let me explain the situation to you as I know it. The information I have is that I do not have any information on the situation. I know that there are 2 dogs that are anxious. They're very frightened, and they are in need of some assistance. Here's my lovely lady here to let me in. So when I come out to refuge, there are a couple of things that I always do. And I always do them the same. So the first thing that I do is I have to leave my emotions at the door. If the dogs are in an emotional state and I am in an emotional state, there's nothing I can do to help them. So I have to leave my emotions at the door. That can be more of a challenge depending on the situation. The second thing I have to do is I have to talk to the refuge staff and find out a little bit about the dogs that I'm going to be working with. And mostly they don't know the backgrounds of the dogs that I'm working with, but it's not that I often need. I need to know about any allergies. So if I use food, for instance, as an incentive, I need to make sure that I'm not doing anything that I'm not going to give them something that they're potentially allergic to. The other thing that I have to find out about is their physical status. So have they suffered any bones breaking, legs and things like that? It's quite often that some of the dogs who have suffered trauma have suffered physical trauma as well. So it's important for me to find out if they have any sore spots or lameness, because if I do manage to physically touch a dog, I don't want to touch anything that might potentially hurt. So I need to be thinking about all of these things as well. So finding out if they've got any sore spots or previous injuries that I need to be aware of, just in case. I don't want to touch anything that might hurt them. I want this to be as positive experience as possible. And the third thing that I have to do is I have to take what I think I know and throw it out the window. And just take these dogs at face value. They will tell me what they're happy with, what they're not happy with. They're gonna tell me what I need to do next in order for this to work for them. When we're dealing with scared dogs, I have to go at their pace. If you've ever been scared of anything in your life, you will know that forcing yourself into that sort of situation, or somebody else forcing you into a situation where you're uncomfortable, it doesn't work so well. If we want this to be a positive rehabilitation, we have to go slowly and at the dog's pace. So there you go. That's the 3 things that I do every single time when I turn up at a refuge. Emotions at the door, leave them there. It wouldn't be the first time that I come out of a refuge, sit in my van and have a good cry. It happens. It happens. It's traumatizing for me as well when I come in and out of places like this. So leave emotions at the door. Pick them up later when you come out. Second one, find out about the physical status of the dog. We may not know the history, but we are able to make now a positive experience and from here on. And thirdly, throw the rule book out the window. Take the dog that you've got at the time and work with them to what they're happy with and what they're able to deal with at that moment. Easy, right?
I offer this little lad a treat. He's not happy to come close enough to me to take it directly from my hand. So I play a little game with him, do quick movements, bother him. These are all the things that I'm trying to assess. Do my movements, do my tone, the other distractions in the kennel, how focused is he, and how willing is he to play this game of just grab the treats. He seems perfectly happy to pick treats up off the floor. He got a little wary there because he started to turn his back on me. At least I think that was the reason. But he's happy to retrieve them off the floor. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting treats a little closer to me and see if I can bring him in just a little closer. He seems pretty happy to do that. Still not happy to take them from the hand. Need to try something else. Nope. Drop it down. Success. So he's happy to take treats off the floor, and lower is better for him. So I bring my hand up a small amount from the last one and he takes it fine. Back up at a usual height and he takes it fine. It's all about me blurring the lines between what's okay and what's totally unthinkable. So in this situation now, I've started again and he's found it difficult. So what I've done is I've started throwing the treats on the floor again, brought him in nice and close, and then built him up to be able to take it from my hand again. So I know from what the refuge have told me that this boy has a problem with the fact that he was caught. So in order to get him out of the house that he was in, he had to be essentially caught, which doesn't do any nervous dog any good really, but it was a necessity. He couldn't stay there. He wasn't in a safe place. So he was caught. He was then taken to the vets for a vet check. He didn't enjoy that at all, bless his heart. So there is going to be some negative association to the leash. So what I'm doing now is just getting the lead out. I'm kind of shaking it around a little bit, just moving it. I want to see how he reacts. Does he run for the hills? Is he curious? Does he want to know more? And as you can see from this, he is perfectly happy to get close to the lead all the time. It's not connected to a human. And he's perfectly happy to take treats from inside the loop that I've made there. And he's perfectly happy to be around the leash on its own. Now we are starting to up the ante. So what I'm doing now is holding the leash. And I'm going to be trying to get him to take treats from my hand. Now, as you can see, I have got the lead around my arm. This is sometimes a technique that some people will use, which is to have it over their wrist so that the dog takes the treat. And as they do, they slip the lead over the head. Now, we're not doing that today. I just want to see if he will come close to me while I have the lead over my arm. He's a little hesitant at the beginning, but he's doing really, really well. I will say that there was quite a stretch of time in between these clips, so practice has actually got him warmed up quite nicely. But right at the beginning of this was not possible in the slightest. I will also add that this is the sweetest boy in the world. He is just a sweetheart. I will also mention that the Labrador mix that you can see in this kennel with Kurt is absolutely obsessed with the trainer who's resident at the refuge. Bless him, he's glued himself to her. So the reason that you're seeing him darting backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards is because he can hear her voice speaking from the other kennels. He can see her passing by and doing the other jobs around the refuge. And this is why you will see him repeatedly darting backwards and forwards and seemingly getting in the way. He was very difficult to distract if Elodie was in the vicinity. So one of my overall tasks is to help this boy to feel more confident around new things in the presence of humans. So previously he has become very, very nervous. when there are humans around. So what I'm trying to do now is, now that I've got him comfortable with me being here, now I want to add new things and new experiences that he's going to have a go at in the presence of human. So I've introduced some yogurt pots. Now the game that we're playing is where I'm going to hide food on and under yogurt pots, and he has to move them. This will create a sound on top of the concrete floors. So I want him to make this sound. I want there to be smells and sights and sounds that are different to him, so that he experiences all these things and they're not shocking to him. So these sounds and smells and sights are nothing to be afraid of. Nothing is going to hurt you. Now that he has become comfortable with me sitting in his kennel, playing games with him, he's starting to get closer voluntarily and without being sort of twitchy. This is where I want him to feel much more comfortable when he's close to me. So you can see he's getting quite close here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to offer him the treats in exactly the same way as I have done before. But this time, as he takes the treat, I'm going to use my thumb to just stroke down the side of his muzzle. Building up the work with the leash. This is always going to be a challenge, so I need for him to be able to put his head through the loop and do it willingly, so that he's not being caught, that he's choosing to trust that I'm not going to hurt him. So right now, it's not about putting the lead on, it is just about him trusting me enough to put his head through the loop and then being allowed to take it back out again. Reaching a little bit of a milestone here. I think it was day 3, and we finally reached a point where he put his bottom on the floor. He actually chose to sit, and he actually chose to lay down, and on one occasion right near the end he started to go to sleep, and this was where I started to finish the activity, because he was getting so relaxed and so calm with me being in the kennel with him and doing little games like this, that there was just no way that I was going to push him any harder. He was so tired that it was just an ideal opportunity to finish it there. So here you can see that I am continuing the efforts to get a little bit of touch. So just to be able to reach out and for him to see hands coming towards him as a positive thing, for him to see fingers touching the sides of his face as being nothing bad. It's all a positive experience. And here we can see our other boy here just chilling out, relaxing with us. I think the resident trainer had gone for lunch at this point and he'd started to relax.
So we have some good news. We have some good news. I'm just going to fill you in on all of this. So they haven't been able to do a huge amount of practice. That's not a problem. We can work with that. But what they have managed to do is everybody coming past the kennel have been able to put a little treat through the bars for him. And he has, in turn, started to associate people with good things happening, which is nice. That's a good thing. We want to be able to build that connection between people, meaning good things. I've given them some more practice for people to go into the box and do some lead practice with him. I really want to up this because he's got a vet's appointment to have his second vaccination. Now, the first vaccination, he was caught for that and kind of manhandled a little bit to kind of get him in so that it was possible for the vet to do what they needed to do. Again, I said this before, I'll say it again, it was necessary, it had to be done. But if we can do it nicer this time, if we can get him used to the lead, we've got a few weeks before that happens. If we up the practice, everybody going into the box, he's gotten very good at taking treats from behind the mesh. So if you go up to the bars, he will come up and he's more confident. But if you go in the box, if you go in the kennel, he gets a little bit more unsure. So that's where the practice needs to now happen. He will take treats from people from behind the bars, which is fantastic. And progress is progress, so we're never going to complain about that. But he needs a bit more practice with somebody being in the kennel with him. We need to extend that trust. I've gone in today and he's taken treats more or less straight out of my hand. So he's ready for the practice. We just need to now spill that across to more people. But his association with human now is growing in positivity, which is where we want to be. That's what we want. So I'm very happy. I want to say a huge thank you to everybody who funded this. Soutien Animaux Solidaire, can't thank you enough for the help that you've given me in supporting me to do the first section of this training. And all of you guys who donated as well, can't thank you enough. Oh my goodness. I never expected so much support from you guys. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And again, a thank you for my PADS patrons as well, because you guys pitch in every month. So you're helping not only these dogs, but you're helping other dogs as well. I'm going to leave these guys with this for a little while. I've asked them to contact me if they need me for the vet's consultation. And if they don't need me for the vet's consultation itself, just to drop me a line afterwards, just to let me know how it went. And if we need to do a bit of work afterwards, then I'll let you guys know. I'll keep you updated as information becomes available. But for now, I'm going to let these guys do their thing. So we're wishing Kurt all the good luck in the world and sending him all confident vibes. And hopefully he's going to be just fine.
If you liked this video, then please remember to give it a thumbs up. Leave Kurt and the shelter your messages of support in the comments box below. Subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you don't miss out on any new up and coming videos. I hope you've enjoyed this video and I will see you guys all very, very soon. But for now, take care.